Hey guys, Steve here from theturtlefollower.com, and in this video we're going to take a look at the markets for the upcoming week. We had a real interesting day on Friday, a real big sell-off as far as what we've been used to lately, and we basically are now testing the resistance that we had seen earlier in the week. All right, so we came up, and you can see we bottomed out here at this 2066 a couple times, and then we ended up rallying higher. Sure enough, on Friday, market sold off. I think the S&P was down. At one point, the S&P was down almost 40 points, but closed off the lows. It closed off the lows by about 15 points, down about 25 to close the day out. But you can see we came right into that area. Okay, that 2066, 2065 area. So that's proving to be some significant support. It was resistance, now became support. Now, looking at this from a realistic standpoint, I would just assume that we test the bottom of the box. That's just my assumption. We had a huge high volume day. All right, we did close off the lows, but still huge high volume. Not super high like we've seen in the past. All right, but still a higher volume low. And you can see here the last couple times that we've had those high volume numbers, it has put in a bit of a low in the markets. All right, so here, this bar right here, next bar right there. All right, and so just about the same. So I would assume that we at least see some continuation to the downside. Whether we get to the bottom of this consolidation, this 2035, we'll have to see. But at this point, obviously we know where the top of the box is, right? I mean, obviously 2100 is a huge level for the markets right now, and until we can get back over 2100, it pretty much is sideways to down is the way you got to look at it. We're now breaking this consolidation, or I'm sorry, this trend line by a little bit more time. All right, so now price is kind of kicking in and taking us out. So now just understand that Friday was options expiration. I don't think that had anything to do with what actually happened here, but just understand that there was a lot of movement going around. People needed to get their prices and their stocks around certain levels, and it could very well have been that they needed to get the S&P back to this 2075, 2050 area. I don't know that for sure. That's just just understand that, again, options expiration day is usually very volatile. So moving forward, where do we go from here? Well, as I said, I think we probably see at least a continuation lower. I don't know if we necessarily get to the bottom, but if we can use this area here, and this is a big if we can use this area here at 2065 and establish that as a new low, then we probably break out. All right, and what I mean by that is, instead of the market having to go all the way from 2035 all the way to 2100 and still have enough juice in it to go ahead and be able to push through 2100, that's a difficult task. But instead, if we pull back, put in a higher low, and now you only have to go from 2065 to through 2100, now it's a different story. Okay, so as I've said in the past, at these types of turning points, you don't want to see it just continue. We don't want to see another bar like this fill up the rest of the box, because that's could be very, very costly for the bulls. Instead, you want to just see us kind of move sideways. Maybe we can hold this range between 2108 and 2066 and then break out higher. Okay, that's where I think inevitably we head, but I don't think it's next week. Hopefully I'm wrong. The NQs, NASDAQ futures. All right, this one you can see is almost back at the bottom of the box. This one actually is, instead of putting in a sideways consolidation, it's a little bit more of a downtrend. All right, a little bit more of a descending triangle. All right, you can see that right here. All right, let's take this out because this is useless at this point. Move that trend line. All right, so that's what we have going on. All right, now again, you could look at it a couple different ways. We could be kind of coming into a little bit more of a consolidation, But the longer we stay in this triangle, the more likely that we break out of the bottom. All right, so you can see here, not too much room left to the downside to test the bottom of the box or the trend line. All right, so again, may see a little bit of a continuation lower, hit that, and then move higher. So my guess would be Monday, probably a little bit maybe of a doji pattern where we come down, test the area, and then start moving higher later in the afternoon. And then Tuesday, a breakout or a move off of that support area. All right, but again, this is what we're contained in. Not only are we contained within the triangle here, but we're also contained within the consolidation pattern. So again, I think, you know, I'm kind of warning some caution here, but I don't want you to be overly cautious, because I'm not kind of classifying this as like the start of you know, the next big whoosh down. I think we can have some levels in here that we can potentially hold, and even here on the Dow, you could see we haven't dropped below this 17,500 area, all right, in a while, and we don't have a lot of room left. Yes, we could still see some continuation, just like any other one, all right, just like any other indice, we could see some continuation lower, but just understand there's some support now because of how long we've gone sideways in all of these indices, all right, because of how long we've gone sideways in certain areas, there is some support, all right. So again, maybe we come down to 1753 and then start moving higher. But look at all of these as a potential for higher lows in the process of moving forward. And the best one that we've had on or been looking at is the Russell. All right, and the Russell did have a bit of a sell-off today. Okay, but look at where it came right to trend line support, 50-day moving average right underneath it. We've done this in the past. Okay, and this is kind of what I'm looking at. The Russell doing big bar, little bar, and then a reversal. All right, so that's kind of what I'm looking for here. I'm looking for maybe a little bit more continuation. Maybe we get to the 50-day moving average and then a reversal and start moving back to the upside. But again, you know, it all depends on how strong this sell-off really is. I mean, as I said, it is a Friday. It is options expiration. Volume was heavy, but not heavy like we've seen in the past. Look at what we've seen back here. Okay, look at how high this volume is. I mean, this volume doesn't even mark as, you know, maybe it's the top three. You know, not even. Maybe it's, you know, the top 10 for high volume spikes for the year. All right, but again, look at what we've seen. These high volume spikes typically will reverse back to the upside. So that's kind of what I'm looking at for this week. I'm looking at potential for Monday, a little bit more continuation to the downside. Tuesday stabilize, Wednesday through Friday hopefully start grinding out some higher prices. If that's the case and we can pull that off as a bull, then I would have to say that 2100 is your target, all right, and over 2100 is your breakout with a new high low. All right, so that's where I'm looking at for this week. If this is your first time joining us, first of all, thank you for joining us. Second of all, head on to the top of the screen that you're watching this on. There's an orange bar. Put your email address in there and you'll get all future video updates sent directly to your inbox. You don't have to worry about missing any new updates. They'll all be sent directly to your inbox each and every day that I put one out. So head on over there, sign up for the nightly recap. Catch you next week. Thanks for watching.